Hey everybody, Roman versus with another Squashfest podcast and my co-host.
I need one of them black suits that Paul Heyman got Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in last night. Them shits look dapper. The boy hard.
Dapper. I can't. So yeah, Raw. Raw was okay.
I see what they're trying to do with some of these segments, but there are things that I liked and things that I didn't like, and we can get into it. Um, does Seth Rollins need to be in Money in the Bank?
No.
like,
No, I would have liked to see that opportunity go to somebody else.
it's like the main event segment was the main event match was fine because you got Sammy, Finn, and Seth, and theoretically all three of them are your top level stars. I mean, one of them could be in the Money in the Bank match, or all three of them could be. But I was just like, why? Why are we doing that? Like, it's the same thing as like with Rhea Ripley. Why? Why are you putting your established stars in this match instead of trying to elevate somebody who doesn't usually get on a PLE?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just that was one of my only problems with Raw. Yeah, we can get into it.
I'm
Show kicks
hoping
off.
I'm
Yeah,
hoping it's that they plan to elevate someone new, but they just put in some stars in it to make sure we cared.
yeah,
That's what I'm
I get
hoping
that.
for.
I get that. I mean, like of the three of them in that faction, Seth, Bronson Reed, or Braun Breaker, I would have been much happier if either of the other two guys were in the match over Seth Rollins.
I agree.
Give me Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker in that match. It'll be fun. I don't
Mm-hmm.
need Rollins in that match, and I love Rollins, but I don't need him in that match.
I agree. Which is crazy coming from you because you love Seth Rollins.
I do, but he doesn't need to be going for Money in the Bank briefcase. We've been there, done that. He's a level above that. So,
Yeah.
like again, the briefcase should be used in a sense the way the Royal Rumble was used to try to elevate a guy into that main event status that you really believe in.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a prop. It's basically a championship that you carry around for you for as long as you want it. You don't need to put it on somebody who's already established.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
The show kicks off, and they really need a faction name. I'm sorry, Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker come out to the ring, and Heyman does this Heyman thing. He's cutting a promo and he's explaining to everybody in the universe why he put this faction together. And he starts with Braun Breaker, and he said, and his exact words were, "If Skynet sent a Terminator from the future."
That was so stupid.
I was like, excuse me, wait, what are we doing? But yeah, Skynet said a Terminator from the future, and you asked them who main events WrestleMania 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, etc. He's going to tell you Braun Breaker, essentially
Mm-hmm.
calling him the future of this business, and this is why we wanted him in this group.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns to Bronson Reed, and he says exactly what I said during the last show.
Yep.
What he said, why did we pick Bronson Reed? Because he did more damage to Seth Rollins in one night than Roman Reigns has done to him in 10 years, that CM Punk has done to him since he's been back, all of these things. And I basically said, like, Seth's going to want him in because he knows what kind of destruction he can bring.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes to Seth Rollins, and he talks about Seth Rollins being a visionary of the future, an architect, the future of the business. And he says, he takes a shot at the bloodline. I don't remember what exactly he said, but he takes a shot at the bloodline, and then he goes, "Everybody, please acknowledge Seth Rollins,"
Mm-hmm.
which got a bunch of boos. And Seth starts
And then he
talking, and
was he was like
yeah, he was
this
doing the
too.
same thing. He
Yeah.
was like he used to do for Roman, but he's doing
Yeah.
it for Rollins. Um, Seth starts talking, and he said, "I am the visionary. I'm the future, and I now understand." Even though Sami Zayn and CM Punk cost me my championship shot against Jey Uso, I now understand I can control the championship narrative, something bigger than that, and I can choose when I want to. And he looks up at the briefcases, and he goes, "It starts tonight when I officially qualify for the Money in the Bank uh, ladder match."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Again, didn't need it. really I understand the premise of this. We find out that it was going to be Seth, Sammy, and Finn later in that match. Put Finn in that match. Like, do something with Finn. Like. But this is that's essentially it. And precursor. Heyman says that CM Punk is not in the building because of what Bronson Reed did to him at whatever Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the opening segment. It was fine. Whatever. We knew it was coming. We knew he was going to cut that kind of promo. It was just again, I was not enthused with knowing that Seth Rollins was going to be in that match and knowing he was going to win that match. We got our first Money in the Bank qualifying match, first match of the night. Penta, Dragon Lee, and Chad Gable.
This was a fun match.
This was a fun match. Chad Gable's a great worker. Penta, Dragon Lee, you're always gonna get your flippy stuff between them. Dragon Lee's super. Dragon Lee's super. Your flippy stuff. Dragon Lee's super underrated as a wrestler. This was a fun match. We did have that one scary spot where Penta was trying to do a pile driver, also backdrop at the same time.
Yeah.
And he dropped Chad Gable on his face.
Yeah. Was that what ended up busting him open?
Yes. Okay. He landed directly on his face.
Okay.
Very good match. Penta wins. Penta gets into the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's a guy, perfect level for a guy who should be going some Money in the Bank. It's a guy who you want to establish with the WWE crowd. You want to push forward. Side note, since we're on Chad Gable, you saw that he's facing Hijo del Vikingo at Worlds Collide.
Yes.
Hijo Vikingo was ringside. Chad hits him. Vikingo. No, it wasn't. That wasn't what busted him up. It was Vikingo's foot. Vikingo hits him. Yeah, he kicks him. He kicks Chad Gable while Chad Gable's on the top rope. But during the graphic for that match later in the show, WWE marketed it as the AAA Mega Championship match. Vikingo is not the AAA Mega Champion right now.
Isn't it?
It's Alberto Del Patron.
Interesting.
So they're planning on between now and June 7th having a match between the two of them or stripping
him
Alberto Del Rio of the title. And that match at Worlds Collide is going to be for the AAA Mega Championship.
Chad better not win that.
That would be hilarious if Chad Gable walks out of AAA.
Again,
WWE
to your point before, if this was...
What is... Hold on.
Is that your car?
Sure it's not... I don't think so, but I'm going to make sure.
Copy. While he's gone, what I was going to say is it better be... See, if it was... What's his face? Why am I forgetting his name? Why am I forgetting his name?
Yeah, that was my car. I was sitting on the key.
Yo. Not Chad. His alternate personality.
Grande Americano.
There you go. If it was El Grande Americano, then it would be more funny if he won that title. But being that it's Chad Gable, he better not win that title.
Yeah. All right. So we got that. So far we have Penta, Solo. Somebody else qualified.
Yeah.
Look it up. I don't remember. My memory is shot. All right. So then we get the backstage segment at the clubhouse. This is something I just wanted to laugh at. And I wanted to get your take on it. So we get the backstage segment, and Roxanne Perez comes in and starts and gives Dom another plate of chicken nuggets.
Yep.
She asked him if she could start rubbing his shoulders.
She said, "Hey, what's wrong with your shoulder? It looks like you're in a little bit of pain or something."
And then Liv walks in and she's staring them down, and she's like, "Dom, what's going on?" And she goes, "Don't worry about it. Raquel's been filling me in on everything that's going on. I'll deal with that later." Finn is obviously setting all of this up because he saw what happened. This is just my theory.
He was in the bottom of the screen chuckling the entire time. What theory? He did that.
No, he did that. But this is my theory about what's actually happening. Finn saw exactly what happened with Liv when she infiltrated the Judgment Day when Rhea was still there.
Yeah.
Right? He's trying to replicate it so that way he can separate them. But Finn is so bad at everything right now that there is one thing in this entire thing that makes me laugh every single time that I think you can think of. I'm reading so much into it. For the last year, in interviews outside of WWE and on TV, what is the one thing Dominic Mysterio loves that we always laugh at him for? And it's not women.
No, I wasn't gonna say women.
Okay.
The nuggets.
Chicken tenders.
Yeah.
What has Roxanne Perez been bringing the last 2 weeks to Dominic Mysterio?
Chicken tender? Well, chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. I think Finn is so bad at everything he's doing. He was not paying attention to anything that he gave Roxanne the wrong food. And that's why Dom keeps taking the food. But if you pay attention, he hasn't eaten it, and he's always hesitant to take it because that's not what he likes. He doesn't like chicken nuggets. He likes chicken tenders. And Finn is so stupid that he can't even get that right.
I feel like you're reading too much into it, but there's a lot of logic in what you're saying. There is, because you're right. He has not eaten it. He has been hesitant. And Finn sucks at everything. Every point you just made makes absolute sense. But I don't know if anybody's paying that close of attention.
Oh, I do. I pay attention to it.
No, not you. I mean, in WWE.
Yeah. I think it's an inside joke that somebody's doing on them and being like, we're just gonna do it this way.
Okay. I think that's remarkable if it's true.
Okay. So then we get Akira Tozawa versus Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
This was exactly what it needed to be.
When I watched the match, I thought to myself, I was like, all right, the boy Harm is very happy right now because this is you've been calling certain matches that needed to be squash matches and they just have not been. This was the one that actually followed through on what it needed to be.
Yeah.
There was like 2 seconds of offense from Tozawa and then it was just done.
Yeah. He hits a Machka kick and then puts him in the accolade and just refuses to let go after Tozawa taps out right away. The ending of this match, I'm going to be so bored by, though. So this was exactly what it needed to be. Rusev gets a dominant win over Akira Tozawa.
Yep.
As he's holding the hold, Sheamus' music hits.
Yep.
And immediately, when Sheamus came to the ring, I'm like, oh, God, we're getting a League of Nations revival. Like, these two guys were in, like, the worst faction of all time. With Wade Barrett and Alberto Del Rio.
Michael Cole made a statement to even rehash that real quick. He was like, they used to be friends and enemies and blah, blah, blah. That's immediately where my mind went. I was like, oh, the League.
So, these two guys, Sheamus doesn't put on bad matches. It's just, I know at this point, it's not going to go anywhere. It's like he gets into things with people for the sake of getting into things with people, whether it be Austin Theory or Grayson Waller, or before he left, I forget who he was feuding with, but he just gets into things just to put Sheamus on TV because Triple H loves it. This better be to elevate Rusev, because if you bring Rusev in and you have him lose a feud to Sheamus, you bury the guy and there's no reason for bringing him back. They're gonna have some solid enough physical matches where they're going to be beating the crap out of each other. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I care.
I feel like it's just for Rusev to get over on somebody who's legitimate.
Better than the Alpha Academy.
Exactly. But again, we've discussed it for a few weeks. On the Sheamus side, it's just more of the same. It's just him going to look for a fight. Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're coming in here, you're being a bully. I like Tozawa. That's basically it. I'm going to come out here and now I'm going to fight you since you're coming in and trying to be a bully.
Basically.
All right. We got a triple threat match for the World Tag Team Championships. This was a fun match, even if the story of this match was the two heel tag teams, the New Day and the Creeds, were working together to try to take down the War Raiders, right? There was essentially no offense perpetrated by one heel team onto another heel team the entire match. There was just beating down the War Raiders the entire time.
Pretty much.
There were a couple of really good spots. Brutus doing a Brutus ball off the top rope to the outside. Julius Creed jumping, just flat foot jumping to the top rope to hit a suplex.
Ivar doing his flippy flips that he shouldn't be able to do.
Ivar's an amazing athlete, man. I've been saying that for a long time.
I love the spot where he threw himself into Kofi on the side of the ring, and then you see the panel just starts flickering.
Yeah, that's a 350-pound man splashing into an LED panel.
I'm surprised that he didn't actually smash it.
Yeah. Eventually, the Raiders and the Creeds, I forget which ones they are. I think he got the pin on Brutus. I think it's Brutus Creed is fighting with Eric on one of the turnbuckles. He gets him outside of the ring, and Xavier Woods rolls up Brutus Creed for the 3 count to get the win and retain their titles. Like I said, really fun match. The Creeds looked super pissed that they were not smart enough to realize that the other heel team was going to screw them over.
That was stupid on their part.
Yeah. And the Raiders were just pissed that, we lost another championship match, and this time we didn't even get beat. We didn't even get pinned, basically.
Yeah.
So, but fun match. It's going to continue. We're going to continue these 3 teams in that tag division because there's no one else on Raw moving forward. We'll see if they do anything at Money in the Bank, but probably this will be a post Money in the Bank feud.
Yeah.
Going into SummerSlam, we'll probably have like a fatal 4-way. We'll throw another team in there for a SummerSlam match. All right, so then we get Gunther and Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes out in the ring, starts yeeting. Of course, you know how I feel about this.
Yep.
Takes 10 minutes to get into the ring.
Yep.
Gets into the ring. Takes another 5 minutes because he needs an encore. I'm pretty sure there was a commercial break in between when he got into the ring. And he starts talking. He starts talking about John Cena and Logan Paul and everything that needed to happen. Everything that happened at Sunday Night Main Event. And how he will address his tag match coming up at Money in the Bank. And then Gunther comes up. And Gunther just comes and says, hey, you have to worry about me. It's in 2 weeks. It's at Raw in Phoenix. Basically, it was okay. Like this, there was nothing really here.
Yeah.
It was just to remind us that Gunther and Jey are having this match.
That's exactly what it was. It was just a reminder because this is almost word for word
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There was nothing new, nothing added, and then Jey just ends it with 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet.
Yeah, so
same way
they'll have a good match
2 weeks ago. So yeah, they'll have a good match.
Yeah, Gunther goes, you're holding on to that way longer than I expected. Blah, blah, blah.
After saying, "Oh, you had your first title defense," that had me rolling.
I think it was his second. Didn't he defended against Seth?
Did he?
He told
him. Oh yeah,
on Raw.
Yeah, but he said first. He was like, "This is your first title." Yeah. He messed up.
You successfully defended your first title defense.
Yeah,
and I understand what he was saying because the first one ended in a disqualification, so maybe he's not counting that as a win. But I was just like, this is not his first title defense. He defended against Seth. But Gunther just basically tells him, you care about these people too much. You care about what everybody thinks. And the reason I was champion for almost a year is because I only care about myself. And
well, the only new part he threw in there was you care about your friends and you're always there for your friends, and that's very admirable, and that makes you a good human being. Friends. He said that makes you a good human being, but it's one of the worst qualities in a champion.
Gunther said, I have no friends. And I immediately said, where's Ludwig Kaiser? like this guy, there wasn't a breakup with you and your henchmen. They just
Stop
started
showing him.
stopped showing up together.
Yeah.
Like I was super confused by that. I was like, okay. So then we get our. I think I mentioned this before. If I didn't, it was part of the original not New Day, Judgment Day segment before, where Liv says she's going to talk to Adam Pearce and get herself added to a Money in the Bank qualifying match. And as she's going to Adam Pearce, there's a backstage segment where Liv and Raquel walk up on
Io
Kairi
Sky
Sane
and Kairi
and
Sane.
Io Sky, and they're doing the bully thing, and Kairi just starts yelling at her in Japanese, and it said, and then puts her hand on her forehead and says, "Me and you match tonight."
Mhm.
And Liv says, "Okay," and walks away. So then we get that match. Kairi Sane, Liv Morgan.
Now I want to be clear. That was not the qualifier, correct?
No,
Okay.
this was just a standard
Just a
match
standard
because
regular
Kairi
match.
had her qualifying match ready.
She's in it, no?
No, she lost to Rhea last week.
Oh.
That was the one that Zoe broke her leg.
Yeah. Zoe Starks, Dito.
Yeah. So this was not the qualifying match. This was just a standard match. We'll probably get that qualifying match next week on the go home before Money in the Bank. They have a really fun match. Towards the end, it got a little sloppy. I think Kairi Sane tried to hit her with like an Alabama slam before going for her elbow drop, and she just like totally fell over and at some point just laid on top of Liv. Like it was really weird. She laid on top of Liv for the, so then they redo that spot. They do it properly. She gets on the top rope to go hit her insane elbow, and Raquel Rodriguez gets on one side of the ring apron, and the ref goes to her side, and then little one Roxanne Perez gets up and pushes Kairi Sane pushes Kairi Sane. I don't know what's happening to me today. Pushes Kairi Sane off the top rope.
Yep.
Raquel comes around, starts yelling at Roxanne because obviously they didn't speak about Roxanne helping out.
Yep.
And Liv takes a split second to see them two arguing before she sees that Kairi is set up for the Oblivion. She goes for the Oblivion. Kairi holds onto the ropes and hits and rolls Liv up for the 3 count for the win. Liv super pissed. Liv comes back. We come back from break, and we get Liv the entire Judgment Day yelling and arguing. And it's funny because Liv goes to Dom and she goes, "Dom, what did you see?" And Dom's like, "They didn't set it up for us back here to watch." And which is funny because they came into that segment and the audio wasn't working. So it was like, yeah, they didn't set up the video for us back here either. But basically, Liv looks at Raquel and says, "You're the veteran. You should have known better."
Yep.
And walks away. And both Finn and Roxanne are smiling ear to ear when she said that.
Technically, it is Raquel's fault because she was distracting the ref. Roxanne comes, pushes this one. If Raquel did not just walk over to Roxanne and start arguing, Liv wouldn't have been distracted. So technically, it is her fault.
Yep. I would also say, hey, Liv, pay attention to your match. Like, stop paying attention to what's happening outside the ring. Who cares? Pay attention to your match.
I mean, that too. I would have hit her right back with the, "You a veteran too."
Word. All right. Now we get the segment that makes me either want to change my channel or fall asleep, and sometimes I do both. I'm sorry. Lyra Valkyria comes out to the ring.
Yeah.
And she starts
and
cutting.
I instantly had to yawn.
I'm just saying that she starts cutting the baby faces of all baby faces promos, right? Starts talking about,
hey, at least she didn't come out with no wings or nothing.
I don't even know what to say about that anymore. Like, I don't like it. It's stupid. Please change her gimmick. If you got to change her name to change her gimmick, please do that. I don't know what to do with this woman anymore. Because we'll get into it. So she starts talking about how every time she wins a match, she's over and done with it. She moves forward, and she doesn't want the. But for some reason, Becky Lynch is so obsessed with her that she could not be overdone with this. And even though she won her match at Backlash over Becky, Becky sat on the ring apron, on the turnbuckle, and said said that Becky was the winner of the night, which didn't make any sense. And then she goes, Becky automatically whined and complained to the backstage people to take a spot away from somebody else. And Lyra didn't want Becky to do that. First of all, Becky said in her promo after she lost to Lyra, this is exactly what I'm going to do. She said, I'm going to bury women if I have to keep my number, keep my spot. She said, I'm going to stay on top of this division by any means necessary. That's exactly what Becky said. So Becky comes out, and Becky basically tells Lyra, I was done with you. Yes, I lost the match, but I lost the match. I won the night. I went home with my husband. I did the thing, and then
hot
husband, whatever. Which then Lyra said, your hot husband is the only talent you ever had. Whatever. It's like two like cattiness between them. It's just like, can we keep it to the ring? I don't care about whose husband is hot or whose fiance looks like a garden gnome or who like, it's just, no, it was bad. So Becky tells her, I was going to win Money in the Bank. I was going to think, and you stuck your nose in my business. And back and forth. Basically, we're getting Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria at Money in the Bank for the Intercontinental Championship. And Becky makes a stipulation that when I win, you need to raise my hand. And Lyra says, that's fine, Becky, because I have never had a problem raising the hand of other women, but that's just never been you. Because she's beaten her twice, once in NXT and once on the main roster. It's just, I don't care.
Well, also Becky made the stipulation that if she loses, then she won't go for the title again.
She won't go for the Intercontinental Championship anymore. Becky did say that. If she loses to Lyra, she will not challenge Lyra for the Intercontinental Championship anymore. I don't care. I think Becky's going to win that title.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so Becky wins, right?
I thought Becky was going to win that title at Backlash, but now with that stipulation, I think Becky wins it on Money in the Bank. It's just, you need to do something to make this feud seem bigger.
Yeah.
And you need to do something to make Lyra seem more important. And Becky wins on Money in the Bank, and maybe you do the rubber match at SummerSlam and some sort of gimmick match to really get Lyra over. But right now, this is not working. Like, I don't think this is working at all. This is the least favorite part of Raw for me. Like,
they don't have the investment from the fans. Nobody seems to care about this feud right now.
Yeah. And again, I said this when they turned Becky heel. The fans aren't going to let her be a heel. You're still getting mixed responses. People love Becky Lynch. As much as she's trying to pour on the, I'm a bad guy, I'm the guy you should be booing, and Lyra's babyface, it's not that way. They're not really booing Becky and cheering Lyra. It's kind of 50-50 if to my ears. Like, it's weird. So then we get a backstage segment. Sami Zayn on his way to the ring for his Money in the Bank qualifying match. And he's stopped by the number one merchandise seller in the company right now, who can only get 2 minutes on Raw every week if he's even on the show, Karrion Kross.
I didn't see this. Was this on international feed?
No.
Oh.
Because I just watched it on my phone while I was in my mom's house.
I don't know what's happening that I keep missing these segments.
Basically, Sammy's walking by, and he walks by Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and Karrion tells Sammy, "Hey, you had your chance. I spoke to you months ago, and you had your chance to go to SmackDown and take your title opportunity, but now you have to do things the hard way." And then he just goes, "You'll never be a champion. This is why you'll never be a champion." And Sammy turns around, looks at him in his face, and just says, "I'll deal with you later." And then goes back to the ring. So maybe we'll get a Sami Zayn Karrion Kross feud. Maybe that's coming down.
Maybe. That'd be awesome. Finally got Kairi on the TV screen in a match.
Yeah, because his little feuds are not his feuds. He's on the peripheral of everything that's going on.
Yeah,
He's got his he's talking to everybody, whether it be AJ Styles or Sami Zayn. He's talking to everybody, but he's in the peripheral. He's a third party in everything.
yeah,
He needs something that's his right now.
yeah. Maybe this is it. And especially
That's
since
the
Sammy didn't win the qualifier, now he ain't got nothing else to do, so might as well.
I would put him in Money in the Bank.
Who?
I would love it, carrying cross.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would put him in Money in the Bank. Maybe have him win it, and then have the internet wrestling community lose their minds over the next year, thinking about when carrying cross is going to cash in.
That'd be dope.
All right. So then we do get the Money in the Bank qualifying match: Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins. Great match. These three guys, again, some of the best workers in the world. A little bit overbooked towards the end. We'll get into it, but these three guys, they just put on great shows. So towards the middle to the end of the match, Rollins' henchmen come down to help him get a one up. So they come out, they attack Sami Zayn on the outside. That's immediately followed by Jey Uso coming and attacking them. Super kicks, all this stuff, until Braun hits a spear on Jey Uso. All of a sudden,
Dominic.
CM Punk's music.
Nope.
No, that's after. Oh no, Dominic
No,
comes
it's not.
first.
Yeah.
Dominic comes down. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Get
Dominic
it together.
comes down. Dominic comes down, and here's a little takeaway I had. Dominic comes down, and he throws a chair into the middle of the ring for anybody to grab. Seth hits a stomp on Finn onto the chair for the pinfall. That's the last you see of Dominic.
Yeah, he disappeared after that.
He disappeared. The camera doesn't cut to him to show anguish, to show like anything, to say, "Oh, I messed up." Nothing. You saw Dominic, and he was gone.
Yep. And then Cole also made a comment. He was like, "This is the first time Dominic's shown up to the ring to help out any of his teammates in weeks."
Yeah. So I thought that was a little telling. Like, was he really there to help Finn? Was he there to screw Finn? What is happening? What was Dominic's motivation in that moment?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who knows? But then the heels come in. They start beating down. I think they start beating down Finn. It doesn't really matter. CM Punk's music hits. Braun Sid and Braun Breaker make their way up the entranceway, and Rollins starts staring towards the entranceway like Punk is going to come down that way. Punk comes from the back, hits a GTS. Heyman gets their attention. They all run back, and Punk runs away through the crowd. With as much time, Seth Rollins used to be in the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
He used to come from the crowd to attack people.
Mm-hmm.
Why would your only focus be the ring entrance?
Mm-hmm.
This is a stupid wrestling thing that they always get caught for. And for his character specifically, to get caught that way is dumb. It made no sense.
I'll agree. He should have been looking and minding his surroundings. He should have been looking all over.
Yeah, but Seth Rollins qualifies for Money in the Bank, and we're going to continue the Seth Rollins CM Punk feud for a while.
Till forever.
This is my Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Just enough. Like, this has been going on since last year WrestleMania, I want to say. Because Rollins lost to McIntyre at Mania, which kicked off the McIntyre Punk feud. But this has been going on for so long between them. Like, it's like enough. But that was Raw in a nutshell. So overall, solid enough show. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible.
It wasn't a needle mover. It just continued different things, and again, qualifier matches. That's it. That's the come away.
Yeah,
that's what I got from it. It nothing really pivotal. If you missed Raw, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm just trying to figure out now who is in the Money in the. Oh, that's who it is. So right now, qualified for the men's Money in the Bank match are Solo Sikoa LA Knight is the one we forgot
Okay.
because we always forget LA Knight. Uh, Penta and Seth Rollins with two more to be determined. Women, we have Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley,
Julia.
and Julia. And I think they have, and then like I said on SmackDown, they have the Jade Cargill, Naomi,
Naomi.
and
Nia
Nia Jax
Jax.
match this week. Um, but yeah, it was an all right show. It wasn't. I needed a little bit more to stay truly
Engaged.
invested. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, I agree. It didn't feel like there was much of anything of consequence. We didn't really get anything that mattered. Like even the explanation as to Bronson Reed joining the crew, it was just kind of like blah. Like the fact that you called it days ago, exactly what was going to be said. It
That's
was,
it.
yeah, it wasn't anything that, again, if I missed it, I didn't miss it because you called it
Yeah,
the other day, and then there was nothing besides qualifier matches that has an impact that's going to ripple have a ripple effect for weeks to come. None of that. It was just a repeat of
Judgment Day.
the Jey Uso and all that. That was just a continuation of their downfall as well.
Yeah,
There was nothing new on this Raw. The only thing
yep,
is a returning Liv Morgan,
yeah. That's about it.
who had what, 3 different backstage segments.
Yes, three different backstage segments and a match. She was all over that show last night.
All over it. And they want to get that money for their bank because she's going to be in that movie. So they want to start utilizing her more. Star power.
I forgot. Bad Lieutenant Tokyo. I think the name of the movie is.
Ugh. Don't even sound good.
apparently the director is just like Japanese indie legend when it comes to making movies. I have no idea who he is. I don't know his name. But yeah, that was Raw. Hopefully next week we get two more qualifying matches for the men, and a solid enough show for the go home. AAA is a week from Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
AAA Worlds Collide is a week from Saturday. So is Money in the Bank. So it's coming up quickly. Uh, who knows? But hopefully the next two weeks of shows start making this build towards Money in the Bank a little bit more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I since Mania, and I don't know if it's because all of the shows feel like they're on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been enough spread out time to really build stories because you had Backlash 3 weeks after Mania. Then you had Saturday Night Main Event, well, this week, which was 2 weeks after Backlash. And now in 2 weeks, we got Money in the Bank. It's just too many, there's too much content happening for you to really invest in stories, if that makes sense.
No, it makes
Like,
sense.
yeah, that is all. What is your final takeaway of Monday Night Raw?
Skippable. It was a fine enough show, but it's skippable. Like if you had other things to do and you had to make a choice, if you had to go out or watch this episode of Raw, you could have went out.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Uh, it was a placeholder show. It's like one of the weeks that when you're playing GM mode, it's like, oh, everybody's injured or everybody's tired. Oh, don't worry about it. We're just gonna throw on Donovan Dijak versus Julius Creed in the main event this week.
Let's go.
All right. Tonight is NXT. Are you going to be watching Trick Williams celebrate the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on NXT?
That's not canon, and no.
I hate that you do that. Is a WWE wrestler who won a major championship from a different promotion in his wrestling history.
Okay. I don't like Trick Williams.
I didn't say it like Trick Williams.
I'm just saying I don't like Trick Williams, so I will not be celebrating. I will celebrate when Joe Hendry wins it back.
I believe in Trick Willie.
That's terrible. All right, so we'll leave it here, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, well, as always, thank you for following, liking, subscribing, all that fun stuff. We appreciate you guys always. Leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think. Was it watchable? Was it skippable? What are your thoughts on this Monday
It
Night
was
Raw?
watchable. It just wasn't enjoyable.
Some people might have a differing of opinion. Maybe they felt that it was unwatchable. So yeah, we appreciate you guys. Let us know what you think, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.